by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
SAFM celebrates its 89th birthday this month by giving listeners an exclusive opportunity to attend the prestigious Joy of Jazz taking place at the Sandton Convention Centre from the 26th to the 28th of September 2025. To stand a chance to win these sought-after tickets, simply SMS SAFM 89 followed by your name to 41391 and stay tuned to SAFM as we could be calling you. SAFM is the official media partner for the Dipala stage at the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz. Entries open from the 7th of August and close on the 31st of August 2025. Winners will be randomly selected and called from the 1st of September 2025. SMSs are charged at R1.50 per SMS. Free SMSs and SMS bundles do not apply. T's and C's apply. You are listening to The Full Circle.
Busuku bonke ngiyakhala angisafuni ukuhlala kusayaminya amasayida kusayodakwa ngisayolahla ngathi anginandaba kusayojiva kuphuma ilanga uzogcina ongangibanga ekuzojika amakhanda
Nice, abo sugar when spice bazokubudisa too far. Hey, let it cool na ma ice ngazobuzana ne price ngazongazadela isijo. Chesh, baba scruva nabo ay chabo tulunga mpies komblinga bulima bito. Hey, petu taps inomlindo St. George. Sure, godwa aibo wozi wizolo mara still mina ngidai no wenze ngiminyele no taps ama side i4 ngapho umlindo saphaza ama side i4. Sure, asekele indaba zayizol vandag kamban siyophelele enkantolo bese case yalidol bese vyesi azibhova sidli pay buy change your fiber.
having a good old time behind the scenes with Nomi superstar. Nom Simazwai is joining me in studio. She's live, by the way. We are live streaming. We were both jamming to Mlindo, the vocalist. Matala is the name of that song, and that's how we open up the show today. One of my favorite artists. I had that particular album on repeat. And until he jumped out of the radio himself and he said, stop it, just stop it, like put it away now, stop it. Like it's enough.
Isn't it so great when they do that?
Right? When they just like, it's enough now.
No, when the song is so good that you can play just over and over
Yes.
and over and over and over and over and over. I should just like Emandia Pindwa Masipindeni. I love that song. It's so melodic.
It really is. It really is. He just like, I just think he had a great project. That was really a
Yeah.
really great project. That is how we kick off the show today. We're going to take a quick pause and then we're going to come back on the other side and we get into full access with the lady that's got more energy than me. In fact, she's got more energy than 10 of me. Nom Simazwai is joining us in studio.
It is time to experience spectacular football talent from 19 African nations. East Africa is on full vibration. From Tanzania, Kenya to Uganda, the pitch personnel are hungry for continental glory. This is the Total Energies African Nations Championship 2024. Witness Chan 2024 on SABC Plus and SABC Sport on DTT Channel 4 from 2 to 30 August 2025. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
Are you looking for the best savings on spectacles? At Specsavers, enjoy 1,500 Rand off when you get tested at South Africa's trusted and most established optical group. Get 1,500 Rand off all frames in store, or use your 1,500 Rand off on our leading lens enhancements, such as drive light lenses that reduce artificial glare whilst driving. Book online or call your nearest store today. Affordable eye care, Specsavers. T's and C's apply.
Gender-based violence is destroying lives and tearing communities apart. It happens in homes, in schools, at workplaces, and too often in silence. But it doesn't have to continue. If you see it, speak out. If you are hurting, reach out. Because doing nothing is not an option. Listen to all 19 SABC radio stations from Wednesday, the 23rd of July for hard talk, discussions, advice, dramas, educational shows and interviews around GBV with experts, survivors, lawmakers and a whole country affected by gender-based violence. All on your favorite SABC radio station. Call 0800 428 428 to report abuse or get help. GBV, it ends with you. This message is brought to you by the SABC. The Full Circle with Bridget Masinga, Monday to Friday, 1 to 3 p.m.
She is a SAMA award-winning rock star. She comes from, of course, a family with a legacy, and she's carved her own lane as an activist, as a philanthropist, as an entertainer, as a community mobilizer. I mean, there's very little that Nomi Superstar does not do. Hi, Mama.
I'm good. That intro caught me like, there's very little like what that Nomi Superstar can't do. And I'm like, I think there's one thing.
Like what?
Have a job. That's that one. That one.
I mean, but job in the traditional
In the
sense
traditional
of
sense.
you clocking in,
Yes,
let
let me say have a 9 to 5.
You know, you've
Yes.
held a 9 to 5.
I have held a 9 to 5 and I
Yes.
had a really great time.
Yes.
Holding that 9 to 5.
And you did amazing things at that 9 to 5.
I was having a great time. I
Yes.
was having a great time. I don't want to lie. I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you are the truest definition of someone who functions in the creative economy.
I do. I definitely function in the creative economy. I think I also function in the social economy, socioeconomic development space. I think I'm just somebody who's alive and wanting other people to wanting myself and wanting other people to access their dreams. Yeah.
Wait, that drive. Okay, I know you probably roll your eyes at this question all the time, but you come from the family that you come from. You the Lamaki. Are you the last born, by the way?
No.
The last. No.
I have 2 younger brothers. I have my younger brother Osa. He's at Investec. I'm sure you've seen him on TV. Very smart someone. Thanks. And then I've got my younger brother, the Lat Lamaki Langa. And he's busy in varsity, finishing up courses and doing his thing too.
Yes. Oh, you know what? I'm going to ask why the brothers, because I did not know that there were brothers in the mix.
There are brothers. It's because everybody knows about the girls.
Yes.
Yes, everybody knows the girls. So people don't know about the boys, but the boys are the Lat Lamikis. There's no
Okay.
older brother.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting. So then, because I was going to ask you, Uti, the way you're so driven and the way you go after things and you're so unconventional in how you've decided to curate and craft your professional life, where does that come? I just always assumed you were the last born. Because last borns, you want to be better than your big sister.
Yes. I don't know if it's about being better than my big sisters, right? I think I'll tell you, I got my drive.
Yeah.
I definitely got my drive in high school. I had this amazing English teacher, and she did things that were against the grain.
Okay.
I had amazing teachers at my high school. But this teacher, Mrs. Dowds, she did this thing where she would take your grade, and there were different tables. So the A table, the B table, the C table, the D table.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, she did a lot of things, but this was one of the things that I actually credit to really like having a fight to be at the A table. And then having that, when you go to an all-girls schools as well are very good at encouraging competitiveness.
Yes.
There's all these ways in which they celebrate succeeding, winning. And so I think I would definitely credit that to my high school, St. Andrews. Definitely St. Andrews School for Girls made me want to win a lot. And I think that when you're young and when you're at school and you're being molded, and at that age, I think then you just can't let go of those things. Later in life, it just becomes, oh yes, but we have to. And, to credit the school, it wasn't only really about competitiveness, but it was also really about community service. There was a big community service angle when it came to the school and getting involved in Interact and getting involved with all these community-driven activities.
Yeah.
And I was, of course, in high school SRC, head of SRC, because I've always been... I was born with the spirit of Winnie Mandela. I was born like this. Born this way.
Born this way, carved out this way, conscientized this way.
Yeah.
Because I had this conversation with Tandiswa. In case you're wondering, Nomi Superstar, Nomsa Mazwai, yes, related to coming from that lineage of Mazwais. I had this conversation with Tandiswa beginning of the year. And we're talking just around obviously the new project and life and catching up. And she was saying how in your family, it wasn't even a conscientizing you guys.
No, it was unconscious consciousness.
Yes.
Because it was just, that's what we grew up in. And, even when I reflect on my high school and my schooling, it was in the little things where I would say something from school, because you must understand, this is early 90s. It's predominantly white schools.
Yeah.
And we would go home saying things like, oh, at the election, the ANC better not get 2/3.
Yeah.
Because these are the things we would hear people say. And, from a young age, my dad used to be like, those things I remember seeing his face and not knowing why is he so triggered about this, but then understanding and looking back why it is that we were socialized the way we were socialized. And I think that made for very balanced human beings, just to understand, to value ourselves, right? To love ourselves. I remember when I was in matric, all of my books for my book report were from my dad's library. So it was like Mau Mau, some illegal book that was banned, and I read it. And there was also another book, all these, I Write What I Like, Steve
Yes.
Biko. So these were the books that were at home. This is what I had access to. And so that I think that enabled us to be able to come up above water. Because I know with a lot of us that went to private schools, there's this ideological, there's sometimes people feel like they've been cheated when they were younger of knowing more about themselves. And I think my parents did a great job because it was just in the way we did things at home, how we experienced life. And we were black. We were black. We were black. We were black. We didn't even understand what to be a coconut could be.
Yes.
Because we were so black. Like my mom wouldn't let us do braids. Like she was like, no extensions shall arrive upon thy head.
What a wow. Has your mouth, because I mean, okay, I'm thinking it's incredible that I'm just finding out now that you've got brothers, because the sisters are such strong personalities, right?
Yeah.
In your own different ways, very, very strong, very vocal ladies that you guys are. But you almost seem like you are the firebrand of all of them. Yes, I know Ntiki is like she takes the cup in certain lanes, or maybe I should say you almost seem like the unhinged
Ziggy would totally
one.
agree with you. Like Ziggy would be like, "Thank you,
Someone sees
thank
it.
you, thank you very much."
Someone finally sees it. Has your
'Cause
mouth
I'm always
ever
just
gotten you in
like-
trouble?
My mouth, it has. My mouth has gotten me trouble, but it was a good trouble. It was a building trouble. And I'm glad I got into that trouble when I was younger. So I was at Forte, and this was something that was happening. These rich men, as they do even today, now it's just very, like now it's pronounced the blesser. But back then when I was at Forte, there was blessers. And, I was young. There was better ways in which to have said it. But I said, this is transactional sex. And, of course, transactional sex, another word for that is prostitution.
Yeah.
And that just blew up. And that was just like this thing where I was just like, yeah, it is transactional sex, prostitution is that, but I'm not calling people prostitutes, because there's something about calling a person a prostitute than saying transactional sex, which is something, it's the same activity, but the blame and the assumptions and the context is different. In how you're saying it. You're saying people are not partaking in this activity because they want to, there are people who like dating older men. That is not transactional sex. That's not prostitution. It's their preference. But then there's people who date men to put food on the table. And that is a completely different thing. And I remember that was in the newspapers and it was on the radio. And the next day it was graduation at 410. I was SRC president and I had this big speech to make. Being SRC president, and the vice chancellor didn't trust me. I don't know what you're going to say up there. I want to check your speech. And I was an independent president, so I wasn't part of SASCO. And had I been part of SASCO, the comrades would have said, never, you never check our speech.
So you were on your own.
I was like this on my own little girl. I was like, oh no. And like, I was this public speaker and so good at public speaking. And I was looking forward to my speech, and why would a graduation speech have anything to say about that? And, I remember feeling compromised when I did give my speech to the vice chancellor to check. I did. But it was good for me to go through all of those feelings and to know. And it's been like over and over in my life. I think that one was in my mouth. I said the wrong thing in public. I've said the right thing in the wrong way many times. And so there I said the right thing in public in a way that could have been sensationalized, which it was. And then another time I said the right thing, but in the wrong way, but not on such a public stage. And in all those instances, I kind of learned how to just say what I think.
Yeah.
And stand with it and be okay with it and accept whatever the consequences are, because God is in charge.
Absolutely. And would you say that has served you, right, as a community activist, someone who's very vocal around matters of GBV, around matters of LGBTQI plus rights, inclusivity, because you are very vocal. Like, you are an on-the-ground activist, especially in your community in Soweto.
Absolutely. And for me, I remember this one day where I realized, and where I actually was so glad that I said exactly what was on my mind. With my night walking tours in Soweto Night Out, I work with the community policing forums. And of course, the major crime issue in Soweto has got to do with the drug addiction issue. And the one day I was just standing with the CPFs, and I was just like, nobody wakes up and says, I want to be an addict. I want to be an alcoholic. I want to be a criminal. I want to disappoint my grandmother. I want to disappoint my family. And I was like, nobody wakes up and says that, because I just felt that addicts had been dehumanized. And, because when we're in the crime space, we demonize addicts, and it went from demonizing to dehumanizing. And I was so glad that day that I just said it, because at least 70%, because many CPFs are women, 70% of the CPFs went, And I knew that, because it's conflicted, this thing about the crime and the addiction, because it is somebody's child.
Yeah.
And I felt like that honesty, just standing in my honesty, helped me build Funkata Walking, because for the first 5 years of building this business, Soweto Night Out, the first 4 years, those CPFs were volunteering. They were not getting paid. I wasn't paying them. And I think that was one of the things that I said that gave, that then they were like, we're going to do this with you. And I think people walk with you when they know you. And then when people make a conscious decision to walk with you, it's very difficult for them to walk away from you. And so I like that about myself now.
We're going to pause it right there for a second. We're in conversation with Nomsa, a.k.a. Nomi Superstar Mazwai. She's a composer, singer, songwriter, a creative, a development economist and entrepreneur, and, of course, a community activist as well. It's just gone 1:30. We're going to take the headline news, and then we'll come back. And we're going to get a taste of a new project that she's working on.
Good afternoon, I'm Kolo Felo. Therefore, in the headlines this hour, we begin with breaking news. 2 police officers who were transporting a suspect from court have been shot and killed in Florida in Johannesburg today. The High Court in Pretoria has ruled that the body of former Zambian President Edgar Lungu must be repatriated back home. And further afield, people in southern Japan have been warned to be on the alert after heavy rain caused flooding that raised the threat of landslides. I'll have details at 2.
Bafana are confident they can defeat the West Africans. Meanwhile, the national elephants want to step their foot down and walk away with victory. This is the Total Energies African Nations Championship 2024. Be part of the thrilling action. South Africa clashes with Guinea on Monday, 11 August at 4 p.m. Live at your fingertips on SABC Plus. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
I'm Michelle Constant. Join the JSB crew and I every Saturday and Sunday morning between 7 and 10 a.m. We promise to keep you informed and entertained with innovation, culture, cars, travel, life learnings, environment, and of course, your big fat juicy. Small stories, big ideas, massive inspiration. The Jet Set Breakfast on SAFM.
This Women's Month, SAFM stands with the women shaping South Africa's future. Under the theme, Building Resilient Economies for All, we honor the pioneers, the problem solvers, and the everyday heroes driving change. Stay tuned as SAFM brings you powerful stories and meaningful conversations that move us. SAFM, celebrating women, celebrating progress. SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. The Full Circle with Bridget Masinga.
It is the Full Circle with myself, Bridget Masinga, and we're in conversation today for full access with the multi-hyphenated individual, Nomsa, a.k.a. Nomi Superstar Mazwa. Because for some people, you know, in the introduction, you can't just keep rattling off. It takes up the whole show, like everything that they've done and accomplished. But apart from you and your activism work and incredible work that you do in Soweto, you've dedicated your life really to just plowing into that community. But you also very much are a creative in your own right.
I absolutely
fully
am.
in it. Fully in it, Futhi.
Fully in it.
Like, look.
Fully. Fully.
Yeah, no. Doing the
Fully.
most. You have a new project that's out.
I do.
It's coming out.
It's coming out. It's my new album. It's called Surrender.
Okay. What are we surrendering to?
The new single is out today.
Yes.
The album is out around in October. So we've got 2 singles until the album release. But the album is called Surrender because I had to surrender. I had to. You know, just to give a little bit of a story. Like you say, I'm somebody who is, you know, I did my master's in economics and I had all these dreams about working in the office. And, you know, as much as like music for me, it was a spiritual experience and I loved doing it. But I think because I got so many different kinds of training and I fell in love with economics and economic development and social development, I mean, I'm so passionate about people. I always thought that I would be working in that space, 9 to 5. Hey, COVID happens, my contract ends at the theatre and I'm unemployed. And I just can't believe that I'm unemployed, you know? It came as a surprise to me. And so COVID is going on. Obviously, I'm not getting work. I continue building Funkit. I'm working my NPC. So I'm spending my pension, I'm investing in this thing, but I'm not really sure because as much as I saw myself doing social work, I really thought it was in the public sector. I really, really believed I was going to be a public service, a public servant par extraordinaire. Me, I was there. I was like, I'm going to do my job outstandingly, you know, and I did at Soweto Theatre. And then the money ran out and I still didn't have a job. And I have 2 kids. My partner, father, my children, not very present. It's something that many South African women are faced with. That was about 3 years in. And, you know, it's one thing to not have a job, but it's another thing to see your name on scarce skills lists. Like to see your profession, like to see your skills on documents that the government is sending out there that says scarce skills and not have a job and be applying. And it's also something to have gone to varsity and done all this work, but to live around people who are literally having blessers and having cars bought for them and flats paid for them and getting big amounts of money. And it's hard to open your Instagram and watch people that are working in the public sector. And then you're like, but why do you have a Land Rover? Like, and it's not only just about black corruption. It's there's corruption in South Africa and it doesn't have a color. And it's a hard place to be. And I got into that woe is me, and I got into a lot of self-pity, and I got into a funk, and I disconnected with God completely. Completely lost contact with God. Then 10 months ago, I surrendered. And that has changed my life completely. I am in conscious contact with God every single day. 10 months ago, I decided to apply for 100 jobs in 100 days. And about 80 of them were in the public sector in South Africa. Only got to the final interview stage for one job and didn't get it. That was in May. But my where I am psychologically, And where I am spiritually, I'm at peace. I'm so at peace. Like, I wake up in the morning and I say, God, what is on our plans today?
Because God is the co-creator.
I say, your will be done. There's a prayer that I do every day. And it says, God, I offer myself to thee to build with me and to do with me as thy will. Relieve me of the bondage of self so that I may better do thy will. Take away my difficulties so that victory over them may bear witness to those I may help of thy power, thy love, and thy way of life. May I do thy will always. And since I did that, I had a Soweto night tour on the 18th of July. 156 tickets were sold. My friend Rhapsody from America, who I worked with on an album 12 years ago, called me and she said, hey sis, I want to work with you. She came to South Africa to record with me. She came with her producers. We're talking Mr. Porter Denon. He produces for Eminem, 50 Cent, Dr. Dre. He's the producer on this first single. He's producing another song of mine that I recorded because in my surrender, when I didn't have anything to do, I'm meditating, I'm writing new music. You know, I don't have anything to do because I asked my spirit, where do we go now? And I just stopped panicking because I accepted that God is in charge. God is in charge. And just because you're an economist, it doesn't mean that you're going to be a CEO. Maybe that's not God's plan for you. And it was in that accepting, I was able to start writing this album. And the album is called Surrender because the music was like this first single, next week, Tuesday. So, you know, in the hustle, the 5 years before the surrender, like this, the manic craziness. I'm doing this open mic because Mina, you know, like I've got 2 kids. Like I'll do whatever I need to do to feed my kids.
Yes.
And so I'm doing this DJ thing at 86 Public in Randburg every Tuesday, and people are not coming. And I get paid by people coming and going to the bar. Listen, the most people that ever came there was 20 people, and they were all my friends. And I made up this song to try and entice more people to come. And it said, can we hang out and smile together next week, Tuesday? At the same time that I am desperately pleading with somebody to come to this thing so I can have money for my children. And I'm not talking to God. And I'm thinking I can do this with... And at the same time, Denon and Tiba, who are the producers who came with Rhapsody, are writing this beat. I've never met them. They're writing this beat, and they sit and they say, what are we going to do with this piece of music? And Denon says, I don't know, just put it aside. Rhapsody arrives. I open her computer. She says to me, I brought you lots of beats. Check what you like. Some of it is Mad Lib. You guys can expect some Mad Lib. She's like, choose a song. And I hear that song, and I'm like, I've written the song already. Listen, we recorded at the same time. Denon is like right now. I'm like, right now. And that is, it's this first song. It's a testament that even when you are not talking to God, God is with you, and God is planning your life, and God knows what God is doing. And at the time, I was desperately singing this hook to get people to come to this gig because I just wanted to feed my kids and pay for electricity. And like you know, where I was, it was like this. It was like a cave. It was like this. I could not see the light. I could not see any light. Like waking up, I felt like there was this ton on top of me, you know. But today, life is so nice. I wake up in the morning and I say, yes, my Savior, what are we doing today? And every day, God has a plan for me. And I just do the plan.
Well, listen, I could not have introduced the song any better. What a beautiful story. What a beautiful testimony. What a beautiful journey, I think.
Thank you.
Because even in the hardship and the challenges of life, as you say, if you surrender, there is beauty in the waking up every day and releasing the control
Absolutely.
to a higher power and
Absolutely.
seeing where it takes you. When she sang the hook, Uguti, how the song came about. I almost wanted her to sing us into it. I almost wanted her to sing us into it. Nomi Superstar next week Tuesday. Let's hear a little bit of the song.
Can we go out and smile together? What do you say? Smiling over time or curry, you and me, babe. Maybe we could even catch a movie, something scary. Maybe we could meet over ice cream like we did in my dream. I'm free, just give me a ring. Next week, Tuesday. Next week, Tuesday. Next week, Tuesday. Next week, Tuesday. I had to share with my sister about you. She was impressed. I do not care for your cars or your money. You are smart and you're kind. That is all that I want. The way you think we could talk for hours. Read many books, big flowers. Tickle me and I giggle slightly, making sure I look lovely. Next week, Tuesday. Next week, Tuesday.
It's got a wonderful vibe to it.
Thank you.
Is
Thank
this
you.
a taste of things to come from the
This
new
is
album?
a taste of things to come from the new album. Definitely very, very happy. Now, I'm speaking to all the SAFM listeners. Tomorrow's Women's Day.
Yes.
I'm talking to the ladies.
Uh-huh.
Now, we are launching.
What are we launching
Ne?
tomorrow?
We are launching the Women's Day Stockfell. Okay? From now onwards, every Women's Day, we make a decision. Uguti, who are we supporting? Maybe it's a black women-owned investment bank, or maybe it's a women-owned philanthropic center that provides legal services for women. We don't know. But every year, we choose something and we support it as women, as a Stockfell, because a Stockfell is a very powerful thing.
Yes.
So next year, I may be coming to you saying we're all putting 10 Rand into Bogoto Capital Investments. And we
Yes.
put our 10 Rand, all of us, and then we let Bogoto do their work. Whether they do well, they make mistakes, they grow, they what. We are doing the Stockfell. We are here for the Stockfell. We are here to do that. So
tomorrow, who
the
are we
Stockfell,
stockfelling?
the Stockfell tomorrow, we want to start simple. We want to start with everything that all of you can do. Tomorrow, you stream next week, Tuesday. That's all you have to do. You have to stream my new song next week, Tuesday, by Nomi Superstar. Let's be able to see what we can do as women. So, yesterday I woke up and I had this poll. And I was like, okay, and I thought of this. I was like, what a great campaign. Like every year, because the Stockfell is something that is it's such a women thing that we do. And we do it at groceries and money and this and that. But there's so many ways in which we can actually activate the ideology of a Stockfell, because Stockfells are not really about money. It's about trust. It's about, community.
Yeah.
And tomorrow, can we all be in community as women? And all we have to do is stream this one song. That's all you have to do tomorrow. Stream next week, Tuesday. And next year, we do another thing. And every single year, we just look at what is our collective power as women. If we all woke up and on Women's Day and we said, and for the Stokvel, I'm doing this.
I love this campaign.
I also love it.
I love this campaign, and no doubt next year you'll come back and we'll unpack it and we'll find out who is the recipient of it. But for today, tomorrow, we are waking up and we are streaming next week Tuesday
by Nomi Superstar, NOMISUPASTA. That's what we're doing. But thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Mama.
Thank you so much for allowing me to share my journey and my story.
Oh, no, always.
And I'm just grateful. And I just want to thank God for everything that's happening in my life. I'm very grateful.
Well, listen, Nomi Superstar, you were born to be a superstar. That was Nomsa Mazwai coming through. Brand new single out tomorrow as a precursor to the album that's coming out late in the year. Of course, we'll touch base with her later in the year when that full album comes out, and we'll do a little bit of a live on-air listening session. Next week, Tuesday, tomorrow, is available for you wherever you stream your music. That's where you can find it. We're going to take a quick pause, and then we come back and we get ready for our next conversation.
This year, the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz Festival presents 3 unforgettable days deep in the art and heart of jazz. From the 26th, 27th and 28th of September, Umu Sankare, Abapemu, Jasmia Horn, Silent Moore and the Noisemakers, Najbonk Trio, Michelle Ndingio-Jello, Valencini, Gabby Mutuba, and over 50 world-class acts will be ready to welcome you and yours to 4 magnificent stages of the Sandton Convention Center. Take me there. Buy your tickets at Ticketmaster now.
Channel your inner warrior woman this August on Expresso as we celebrate and empower women across South Africa. From trailblazing heroines to inspiring entrepreneurs, we spotlight stories of strength, resilience, and change. Join us for powerful panel chats, wisdom, wellness, and bold conversations on equality, GBV, and women's rights. This Women's Month, rise with the women leading our nation forward. Weekdays 6 to 9 a.m. only on S3.
So have you discovered the TV license WhatsApp as yet? We see you binging on the reruns and living for the drama, loving the SABC Plus sports replays. Now, paying your TV license fits the vibe. Simply say hi on WhatsApp to 077 60 69 060. Get your balance, make a payment, or set up a debit order all in one chat. There's no queues, there's no please hold, just convenience that feels like it should have been there all along. Because every screen in South Africa is a stage and yours is lit. So why wait? Send hi on WhatsApp to 077 60 69 060 and get your TV license sorted today. Hashtag your screen, your story.
You are listening to The Full Circle.
All right, as we get into our next conversation for this afternoon, it is stages, pages, screens, and more. Let's just take a quick pause. We'll come back and we'll talk Woza Sisi.
The National Pulse, weekdays, 3 to 6 p.m.
Just so that we're clear, are you saying that every single JMPD officer has a 7,000 Rand a day target, or is it 7,000 as a collective? I mean, what is it?
JMPD officials are separated into operational staff members and administrative staff members. Obviously, the admin staff sit in offices, they do admin work, and the operational members, they go out and they conduct operational duties. I personally engaged with an operational staff member of the JMPD and was informed that each one of them has a target to collect of 7,000 Rand, as we've mentioned earlier, during the day shift. So this is the traffic fine target that must collect.
Michael Son, the DA member of the provincial legislature.
Ashraf Gada on SAFM. Find the podcast at safm.co.za. Stages, pages, screens, and more on The Full Circle with Bridget Masinga.
All right, we are catching up with curatorial and creative developer for the collective, the Woza Sisi collective. Fulufelo Mobadi joins us now. We're talking Woza Sisi, Your Beauty is My Concern, which is relaunching with a bold new chapter, introducing the Daily Braid Project. How are you doing this afternoon?
How are you?
I'm great. Thank you very much. A little bit of context and background for our listeners who might not be aware as to who are the Woza Sisi Collective.
Yes, so Water City Collective is a group of 3 female women-led collectives dedicated to amplifying the work of lady-based artists and cultural practitioners throughout the continent. As you know, Water City means come sister, so we came together to honor the lived experiences and empower creative agency and create spaces for women to tell their stories through photography, publishing, and collaboration. The 3 of us, it's me, Dalia Maubani, myself, and Tulufelo Kodisang. And we basically brought each other together to just showcase what we can do in this industry and supporting other women at the same time.
Now, you're relaunching the artist book, Woza Sisi, Your Beauty is My Concern. We're not going to delve into some of the battle that you had to fight earlier on in the year, but congratulations on safeguarding your work and the originality of your work. Let's get into this one. Your Beauty is My Concern. What does this project speak to, and what was the genesis of this project?
So in 2023, we came up with a project where we invited female photographers to come and explore and understand and, reinterpret Dalia Maubani's work, which she had been working with street hairstylists since 2012. So she has a huge documentary and photographic work around it. So we invited the photographers, we brought in mentors, we allowed them to translate and understand the work in their own specific ways. And a lot of themes came out of it. The photographers were Cynthia Tabete, Tulufelo Kodisang, Lisanda Mdluli, and Fiona Davana. And most of their work spoke about, different parts of working in the city, labor, representation, migration, motherhood. All those themes were captured and then put into this publication and exhibition. So we launched it in 2013, but with everything that's been going on and the idea of us women feeling we are going to be raised once again, we thought it's a great opportunity to relaunch it and tell our stories again, and make a publication again that people can see and be part of and take home and realize how important our voices are in the creative industry.
Oh, absolutely. And part and parcel of the collective and on this project is a rootedness in the personal, but also the political storytelling, right? Because you explore a variety of complex themes through the pages of some of these images.
Yes. We do speak a lot about the themes, especially in relation to how women navigate the city of Joburg and how we work as photographers, but also how those women work as hairstylists. And we combine those themes with our own personal lived experiences, understanding what it means to navigate all those spaces. As a mother, one of the artists spoke about motherhood in a sense as, most of the street hairstylists have to leave their children at home and come and work in the city, which is quite similar to what we face as women also who have to leave our kids and come, there's her own personal experience as well, that she had to leave her child and come and find work as a photographer and make it in the industry with all the challenges. But, it's those conversations that need to be talked about, but it's also important for us as a collective to look at the type of people that are working within the industry all these years, how they survive, and encouraging more young women to be part of that conversation.
A very important work indeed, and even more important, I think, to chronicle these stories. And, we often talk a lot about how we've not archived the collective Black experience. And it starts with projects such as this and platforms like the Daily Braid Project, which is a platform that you are introducing this year.
Yes, definitely. With the relaunch of the publication, we decided we want to do the Daily Braid Project, which is an archive of cultural practice. We know that braiding is the ritual. We all sit together as women, braiding hair, kind of locking into each other. It's such an intimate space for us as women, but also the people that do our hair. So we launched this project as a labor of love and resistance, and we want to showcase new merchandise, which is like limited edition merchandise, which includes apparel, textiles, and artist design objects, but at the same time invite people to come and see what we do with other artists and what we are working with other female artists within the industry to create these products, so that the conversation and the archive doesn't just live on your shelf, it lives in your body, it lives in your circles, it lives in your community, and more people are aware of the work that you're doing within the industry.
You've got an event coming up on the 16th. Tell us
Yes.
about that.
Yes, so we'll be relaunching the publication once again, Your Beauty is My Concern, as well as the Daily Bread project will be introduced on the same day. We'll be at the Breeze Block in Brixton on the 16th. We come and also just meet the collective, because I know we have this huge story behind us, which also gives the people an opportunity to come and meet us, have a conversation, ask us questions. There'll be food and drinks. Let's have some fun and showcase what we're capable of doing as pretty strong black women.
Absolutely. I mean, we just didn't have time today to sort of get into, everything that you've sort of had to journey this year in safeguarding your work, because there's a conversation to be had there. But perhaps we will reconvene at another time and have that conversation, But for now, we'll leave it there. And congratulations once again on reprising your own originality. And representing it to us. Woza Sisi, Your Beauty is My Concern. And of course, that exciting new platform, the Daily Braid Project, is also being officially launched on the 16th of August. So you can actually track the ladies on social media to see some of the things that they get up to and the work that they continuously put out there. The first hour of the show is done and dusted for this Friday afternoon. We'll come back on the other side of 2 o'clock. We are still keeping to all things creative, as you know, on a Friday. That's what we tend to do on the Full Circle with myself, Bridget Masinga. We're going to touch base with the folks from the Free State Fashion Week. And then we are going to chat to the co-founder of Book Circle Capital and author of Friends with Feelings. And this Women's Month, they're presenting book titles by women that we should be considering for our bookshelves. So we'll have a look as to what is on offer there. 2 o'clock is coming up in just a matter of a few seconds, and Khulufelo Tefu is bringing you the news at the top of the hour.
Thank you, Bridget. Top stories this hour: 2 cops killed in Johannesburg and Zambian government wins burial court bid. Good afternoon. We begin with news, Justin. Investigations are underway into the motive behind the killing of 2 police officers in Florida, west of Johannesburg, this afternoon. Police say the 2 officers were transporting a suspect from court when they were ambushed. Eyewitnesses say they witnessed a shootout and criminals taking a vehicle belonging to the police officers. Zambian Attorney General Mulilo Kabesha has welcomed the Pretoria High Court's decision to repatriate the body of the former President Edgar Lungu. In a unanimous judgment, the Pretoria High Court ruled that the public interest supersedes personal interest when it granted the Zambian government the right to repatriate Lungu's body back home. This decision has not been well received by the family, as Lungu's sister Bertha could be heard wailing in the court gallery in disapproval of the judgment. However, Kabesha says the judgment is justified, as Lungu should be buried in his country of birth because he was the president.
I think it's a learning curve that those who intend to become presidents of countries, they must know that they are not restricted to their family, immediate families, but they are spread over to the nation. And so we want to thank the court for having given the judgment. This is how far the government can go. It's to do its responsibility, the responsibility which is given to the government. And we have done what the public wanted us to do.
Deputy President Paul Mashatile has reaffirmed government's commitment to strengthening partnership with traditional leaders during a high-level dialogue in Tshwane. The government plans to engage with traditional and Khoisan leaders on the Traditional and Khoisan Leadership Bill before submitting it to Cabinet for introduction to Parliament. The bill aims to recognize the Khoisan communities and their leadership structures while addressing the deficiencies in the Traditional Leadership and Governance Framework Act of 2003. Mashatile says the bill will provide a framework for recognizing and regulating traditional leadership institutions, outlining their roles and responsibilities and facilitating engagement with government.
Our government acknowledges that traditional and Khoisan leaders have needs that require attention to effectively serve their communities. The Interministerial Task Team on Traditional Leadership was established by President Cyril Ramaphosa to address precisely the issues that you have raised.
The Enyobeni inquest underway in the East London Regional Court sitting in Mdantsane in the Eastern Cape has learned that asphyxia was the leading cause of death of the 21 teenagers at Enyobeni Tavern in June 2022. This was revealed by Dr. Standiwe Kunyuza, who is testifying in the inquest. Dr. Kunyuza was one of the doctors who examined some of the deceased patrons at the crime scene on that fateful day. Asphyxia is a condition that occurs when the body does not receive enough oxygen. She says although there was a presence of methanol and carbon dioxide on all the deceased, but that was not enough to cause death.
Small bleeding in the covering of the brain. There were epicardial hemorrhages. Epicardial hemorrhages, meaning there was bleeding in the heart muscle, Your Worship. There was a large area of hemorrhage in the stomach, Your Worship. There were hemorrhages in the liver, spleen, and the kidney. The cause of death was established as cardiac asphyxia in a person with alcohol intoxication.
The Weather Service has issued a yellow level 2 warning for disruptive rainfall in the Western Cape tomorrow. This in addition to level 2 warnings for damaging coastal winds and waves. The City of Cape Town's Sonia Latahan says the Disaster Risk Management Centre has alerted all relevant departments and partners to be on standby for potential impacts from the forecast.
With the weather warnings in mind, the Disaster Risk Management Centre calls on the public to do as much as possible to safeguard their properties during the forecast period, like waterproofing, clearing gutters and digging trenches to lead water away from the structures. All relevant city departments and external partners are on standby for potential impacts from the forecast. In the event of any life-threatening emergency, please call the city's Public Emergency Communication Centre on 021 480 7700.
And finally, further afield, people in southern Japan have been warned to be on the alert after heavy rain caused flooding that raised the threat of landslides. Japan is also experiencing record high temperatures. The BBC's Miki Bristow reports.
Japanese weather officials say intense rain in Kagoshima Prefecture has caused flooding that could trigger landslides. Residents living near rivers, streams and cliffs have been told to seek safer areas. Online images show damaged buildings, streets flooded with murky water and planes stranded at the region's main airport. Simultaneously, many areas in Japan are experiencing punishing heat, with a national record of 41.8 degrees Celsius set this week. Climate change has been blamed for more intense weather events.
The top story, the Sawa investigations are underway into the motive behind the killing of 2 police officers in Florida, west of Johannesburg this afternoon. Headlines at 2:30 for SAFM News. I'm Kolofelo Tefo.
SAFM 104 to 107 nationwide.
Chipolopolo of Zambia is chasing victory. However, the Portuguese-speaking team Angola have a serious mandate to secure 3 points. This is the Total Energies African Nations Championship 2024. Experience Zambia versus Angola this Sunday, 10 August at 5 p.m. Live everywhere for everyone, always on SABC+. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
The soundtrack of your life with Ernest Pillay.
They were more than just songs. They were the backdrop to your best days and the ones that change everything. The soundtrack of your life with me, Ernest Pillay, brings you iconic classics and hidden gems that spoke to your heart then and still do now. Whether you're driving, relaxing, or just remembering, let the music take you right back. The soundtrack of your life with Ernest Pillay. It's about your past, your story, and it's all right here on your favorite station, Saturdays and Sundays, 1 to 4 p.m.
This is SAFM. This Women's Month, SAFM stands with the women shaping South Africa's future. Under the theme, Building Resilient Economies for All, we honor the pioneers, the problem solvers, and the everyday heroes driving change. Stay tuned as SAFM brings you powerful stories and meaningful conversations that move us. SAFM, celebrating women, celebrating progress. SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. You are listening to The Full Circle.
I would swim forever in your light if I could stay the apple of your eye. I would pray, no surprise when it's you and I would spend a decade based on lies if I could stay forever in your life. Yeah, I don't do well with change, and I'm so sure of your play. Your eyes change color when you lie. I can see it, I'm not blind yet. Your eyes, your eyes, your eyes, yeah. Your eyes, they sparkle in the light, but in the dark, I see the true colors of your heart. Your eyes, your eyes, your eyes, yeah. You can't deny just what I'm feeling. All through the dirt, you know I'm keeping you, not leaving you. You make things up, but there's no reason. Into my eyes, you keep repeating them, repeating them. See, I don't know how I could leave when your love was should exceed some meaning, yeah. And although it's no excuse, believe me, and I hope we got don't come too easy, yeah. Easy, yeah. Easy, yeah. Your eyes change color when you lie. I can see it, I'm not blind, yeah.
Shakana, that is Black Coffee and Shakana teaming up for this one. Your Eyes is the title of this particular song. I said, it's Friday. Can I play this song? Because also it reminded me of a tweet that was sent by @Menzimbata. Menzimbata sent a tweet in May, at the end of May, and he was like, it was for Michelle, but somehow I was also dragged into the situation. He was like, at Mish Constant, that last hashtag big fat juicy jam by the mom of a 9-year-old has to be an unofficial record breaking jam at SAFM radio. At SAFM radio playlist, because it's the first time SAFM ever played Amapiano, even at Bridget Masinga, who may have come close to playing such. I don't think she ever did. So then it started us on this whole conversation between the three of us talking about, well, why am I in it? Like, why am I in it? And then John had to put himself in the conversation as well and say, well, wait, hold on. In fact, me myself, I've played Amapiano on the show. So I've come close, Menzi, but I haven't quite crossed that banner as yet. I actually saved that tweet because it made me laugh. We all had such a laugh that day going back and forth on Twitter around that Tyler song. That is how we kick off the second hour of the show, Black Coffee featuring Shakana with Your Eyes. We're going to get into a quick catch up now with the CEO of the Free State Fashion Week. Candy Smith is joining us live streaming. If you've logged on to our streaming on safm.co.za as well as on X and wherever you are, we are on social media. You will see Candy. How are you doing, Miss Candy?
Hi, Bridget. I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you very much. Thank you for taking the time. Much appreciated. How are things in the Free State?
I know it's so nice here. It's no longer cold. At least the weather it's nice and sunny today. So everything is going well, and we're just looking forward to welcoming Zozabini Tunzi this afternoon in Bloemfontein.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's exciting times ahead.
I mean, very exciting times because you are celebrating Women's Day with the Free State Fashion Week, and you've got a full program, and of course, part of that program is the fashion offering. But it's a full program, and where you've also invited heavy hitter females to come and help you all celebrate.
Yes, definitely. We're so excited to have them all here tomorrow.
Yeah. So tell us about the program. You've got the Fashion Week, and what's on the itinerary.
So basically, the Free State Fashion Week normally has the annual Free State Fashion Week fashion shows. So we're kicking off just the introduction to the Fashion Week. Tomorrow we will be having the Women's Day. It's like a breakfast into lunch type of event, daytime event, where we're just going to touch on women's issues, business, basically having fashion, a few designers from the Free State that we selected that is going to showcase their garments. But also we're super excited to have Zozabini Tunzi, will be joining us as a host for the day, and we will also we also have Unati, which is a speaker for the day. She will be touching on real life issues, whether it's divorce, whether it's whatever woman is going through, because it's Women's Day. Don't help you just talk about fashion and nice dresses. Let's get into the real issues of what woman is going through. So that's what she's going to be talking about. And then she will also perform 2 songs for us during her slot. Then we have Amy Fako that will bring the nice, dance mood type of experience for us. We also have Bina Buns, a DJ from the Free State, who will be, give us her performance as a DJ. Then we have Angelina Linda, which she is from the Free State also. She's a co-host to Zozi, and she will be taking stage with Zozi. Then we have APSA, which is the sponsor for this event, who will be giving us a business overview. So we'll be touching on various topics from women issues, fashion, business, all of those things. So it's an exciting day.
So it's a full day ahead that is going to be unpacked tomorrow. And of course, there seems to be a lot that's going on from a cultural and artistic perspective in the Free State in the last year or two. I've noticed, since sort of doing the show, that the Free State is really cultivating and activating its creative capital.
Yes. I think gone are the days where we are left behind. We are really fighting for our space in this economy and making sure that we also stand up as Free State businesses and especially women-owned businesses and making sure that we contribute to cultivating the economy in our province and in South Africa.
And what has been sort of the reaction or the response on the ground with some of the work that not only are you doing via the Free State Fashion Week, but also just different NPOs and NGOs that are galvanizing in the Free State, trying to create that fertile economic environment? What has been the point of conversation in community about whether the impact or the importance of such?
I think it starts off with businesses. Remember, Bloemfontein is a small town, and Free State is even broader, but it's also small in comparison to your Cape Town and Durban, etc. So some of these people in these industries, whether it's business, we all know each other, if I can say that. So what we're trying to do is to all try and support one another. And then also to make sure that each other's businesses are growing, because we cannot just rely on, for an example, government, as it's not sustainable. So we have to try and make it on our own. And the only way how we will actually survive in this industries is basically to just take hands and to support each other. So even tomorrow, there's a lot of women, a businesswoman that will be there, making sure that we talk about things like this and come up with solutions and take it further. And it mustn't only be conversations; there must also be work in progress. So these are the things that we are really looking forward to talk about tomorrow as well.
Yeah, let's pause it there for a second, Candy, as we take a commercial break, and then we'll come back on the other side.
Shipolopolo of Zambia is chasing victory. However, the Portuguese-speaking team Angola have a serious mandate to secure 3 points. This is the Total Energies African Nations Championship 2024. Experience Zambia versus Angola the Sunday 10 August at 5 p.m. Live everywhere for everyone, always on SABC Plus. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
Gender-based violence is destroying lives and tearing communities apart. It happens in homes, in schools, at workplaces, and too often in silence. But it doesn't have to continue. If you see it, speak out. If you are hurting, reach out. Because doing nothing is not an option. Listen to all 19 SABC radio stations from Wednesday, the 23rd of July for hard talk, discussions, advice, dramas, educational shows and interviews around GBV with experts, survivors, lawmakers and a whole country affected by gender-based violence. All on your favorite SABC radio station. Call 0800 428 428 to report abuse or get help. GBV, it ends with you. This message is brought to you by the SABC. The Full Circle with Bridget Masinga, Monday to Friday, 1 to 3 p.m.
All right, it's gone 20 past 2 o'clock on the Full Circle with myself, Bridget Masinga on SAFM. We're taking things nice and easy on this Friday as we wrap up the week that was, and we're catching up with Candy Smith, who's the CEO of the Free State Fashion Week, and they are activating tomorrow at the City Hall in Bloemfontein, and they've invited Zozibini Tunzi, Amifaku and Unati to come through and lead the Women's Day celebrations as they indulge in all things fashion, but also get down to the business of creating fertile business environments for women. We know that every time this time of year, when we get together as a woman, there's a lot of themes that are on the tables for these gatherings, and we all come out of them so much more richer than what we went into, before the respective events. So City Hall is going to be activated tomorrow. And you say that this event, really, you've invited a lot of young designers from the Free State. Not necessarily young in age, maybe, but, young in industry experience, young in age, young in just essence of youthfulness. And talk to us about the importance maybe of creating these spaces for young people and enabling them to also be able to, one, showcase their work, but also leverage on platforms that will have them seeing or have them building sustainable businesses outside even of just the Free State province.
So when we started out the Free State Fashion Week just over 9 years ago, we immediately realized that just having a showcase every year, it's not really sustainable. So what we've done in 2016, we started with the Free State Fashion Hub, which is an accredited fashion school right here in Bloemfontein. We train over 30 students every year, fashion students. So some of them start out and they realize, okay, but I'm not a business. I don't love business, but I want to go and work at a big retailer, or I want to supply for YDE, and they go into that route. But we also make sure that we develop entrepreneurs for the fashion business and fashion entrepreneurs. So then after 2 years, so they go through a 2-year program. After 2 years, actually from the very first year, our designers are able to showcase at the Fashion Week. So this is from when the year starts, they start with the garments and all of that, go through the processes, and then at the end of the year in November this year is our Fashion Week. Then they showcase their things. So those are the students. Then they graduate after 2 years. They still showcase the second year, but when they get to their third year, they are now fashion entrepreneurs. We still give them mentoring throughout the year. We still give them whatever support is needed, whether it's how to start a business, which industries to connect with to get proper experience for their business, whether it's the CEDA or CEDFA, as they call it now, to get that support. We do guide them in those directions. But then also we have the celebration of their hard work, which is the Free State Fashion Week, where they were able to showcase their work. We also invite buyers that can potentially place orders, or, even if it's somebody from SA Fashion Week or whoever that can see their work and say, no, but you must be on our runway next time. Or we 3 years ago, for an example, 2019, we were spotted by Brooklyn Fashion Week, and they invited 5 of our designers who then showcased in New York, for an example. For the very first time, some of them has never even been out of the country. Let's not even talk about not even out of the Free State province, and they were able to showcase in New York. So those are the type of platforms that we want to create, and then just for them to run sustainable businesses, should they decide to be in business, just to create and be busy all the time, and and make money from their talents.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Candy, it's been a pleasure talking to you. So tomorrow, the 9th of August at City Hall in Bloemfontein is when that event, the Women's Day Business and Fashion Fest event, is taking place under the theme Glam with a Touch of Pink. So I guess if you're going, make sure that you've got a touch of pink on hand in your ensemble. And of course, those have been in Tunzi, Amifaku and Unati being part of that panel of discussion as well as entertainment tomorrow. From a ticketing perspective, by the way, for folks that are in Bloemfontein tomorrow, are able to go, where do they go to secure their spot?
So they can either buy on web tickets online or Pick and Pay. Note that the VIP and the 350 tickets is already sold out. So there's a limited amount of tickets still available, which is your floor seating ticket. So at web tickets or at Pick and Pay.
Awesome stuff. That was Candy Smith, CEO of the Free State Fashion Week. We've just got a few minutes to go before the bottom of the hour. And then Ukhulufelo is going to come through with the headline news at 2:30. And then on the other side of 2:30, we're going to get into our kids' programming to wrap up the week that was. And then our final conversation for the day, we are going to be looking at books, right? We're talking books with the co-founder of Book Circle Capital and author of Friends with Feelings. Because it's Women's Month, we thought we'd focus on book titles by women that we should be considering for our bookshelves. Maybe you have some of these already in the house. Maybe they are on your to-read list and to procure list, or perhaps you've not heard of some of the titles. We're going to have that conversation. And I'd like to actually know, what are you reading? What are you reading at the moment? Actually, I haven't asked people what they're reading since I stood in on like Jet Set last year. So what are you reading? I'd love to know, what are you reading? Are you reading at the moment? There are people who are seasonal readers. I used to be a seasonal reader, especially when I was studying. Because I was corresponding at UNISA. Graduated just a few short years ago. And so I used to be a seasonal reader. There were times when I was reading academic literature, all the prescribed books, and then after exams are over, I'd get into more fiction books just to cleanse the mind from all of that academic thinking. And then, 2-3 times a year, I would pick up something that was nonfiction, just to also exercise that brain matter and make sure that I get some historical context and read books that are outside of the realm of my participation, which is the other thing. It's good at times to read books that have nothing to do with the work that you do or the life that you lead, just to sort of expand and open yourself up to other things. But we'll get into that conversation on the other side. Let's take a quick pause for the headline news.
SAFM celebrates its 89th birthday this month by giving listeners an exclusive opportunity to attend the prestigious Joy of Jazz, taking place at the Sandton Convention Centre from the 26th to the 28th of September 2025. To stand a chance to win these sought-after tickets, simply SMS SAFM 89 followed by your name to 41391, and stay tuned to SAFM as we could be calling you. SAFM is the official media partner for the Dipala stage at the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz. Entries open from the 7th of August and close on the 31st of August 2025. Winners will be randomly selected and called from the 1st of September 2025. SMSs are charged at R1.50 per SMS. Free SMSs and SMS bundles do not apply. T's and C's apply.
Thank you, Bridget. Good afternoon. In the headlines this hour, a manhunt is underway for unknown number of suspect who shot and killed 2 police officers near Roodepoort, west of Johannesburg. Zambian Attorney General Mulilo Kabesha says the Secretary of the Cabinet will now take over the proceedings in determining when late former President Edgar Lungu will be buried. And further afield, a wealthy businessman has become the head of Haiti's Transitional Presidential Council, which is trying to restore order and oversee elections in the Caribbean country. I'll have details at the top of the hour.
SAFM 104 to 107 nationwide. This program is brought to you by SABC Education, enriching minds, enriching lives.
Oh Greetings and welcome to Nali Bali. Have you ever heard your parents tell you not to do something and wondered why? Sometimes it feels like they're just being strict, but the truth is they really care about keeping you safe and guiding you to the right direction. When we listen to our parents, we can avoid making mistakes and stay out of trouble. They have lots of experience and want the best for us. Today's story is all about why it's important to pay attention to the wise advice our parents give us. So sit back, listen carefully, and let's see what happens when we listen to our parents. Today's story is called The Rule, written by Kanya Manyati. But before we listen to today's story, let's all get up and... Inati loved playing with her friends, but she often lost track of time when playing with them. Inati's parents had one rule for her and her siblings.
You may not leave the yard without my permission or your mother's permission.
Her father had said,
This is one rule you absolutely have to follow.
This simple rule meant that Inati's parents would always know where she was. They would never have to worry about their absent-minded, adventurous daughter. The problem was that Inati often forgot the rule and left home for hours without permission from her parents. One Saturday morning, Inati and her friends were playing soccer in her backyard. Soon everyone was very hot from running around and kicking the ball. Bantu, who was Inati's best friend, said,
Come on, everyone. Let's go to my house and cool off in our pool.
All the boys ran to the gate, all except Inati, who stood watching them. Bantu walked over to his friend.
Inati, aren't you coming?
He asked. Inati looked toward the house. She knew there was something she was supposed to do, but she couldn't remember what it was. Then she saw that her friends were already running down the road. She looked at Bantu and grinned.
Last one there is a smelly sock.
She yelled, running towards the gate. All the children raced towards Bantu's house. Inati had forgotten the rule again. Inati spent hours at Bantu's house. The friends splashed and laughed in the cool pool water, enjoying the morning sun. Inati only realized how late it was when the sun stood high in the midday sky and Bantu's mom called them in for lunch.
Yo, how long have I been here?
Gasped Inati.
I have to go home. Goodbye, everyone,
she said, running out the gate. Inati rushed down the road and up the path to her house. But at the front door stood her father. His arms were folded across his chest, and he looked very angry.
Oh, no. I'm in big trouble.
Inati thought. Her shoulders slumped as she walked slowly toward her father.
Inati, is this the time to come home?
Inati's father asked as his daughter stood staring at her feet.
You were supposed to tell us when you left. This is the one rule we gave you.
Inati clenched her fist in frustration.
But Bantu and the others never have to tell their parents when they leave. They go and play wherever and whenever they want. This is so not fair.
She blurted out.
What?
Replied her father, squinting his eyes in anger. Did Inati not understand how important it was for her parents to know where their children are at all times?
I can't live like this anymore. I'm leaving, Dad.
Inati yelled. She huffed as she stormed inside. Inati's father was bewildered by his daughter's sudden outburst and watched her in disbelief. Who knew the girl could be so dramatic? Inati ran into her room, grabbed a few clothes and stuffed them into a plastic bag. Then she ran past her father once more.
Where do you think you're going, young lady?
Her father shouted after her.
I'm leaving. I'm running away.
Inati declared loudly. She grabbed an old broomstick. She tied a plastic bag of clothes to one end of the stick and slung it over her shoulder. Her father watched silently as Inati walked out the gate. Inati turned to look at her father, who was still standing near the front gate. She felt a bit uneasy that her father didn't try to stop her. Her father just waved and said,
You know what? Fine. Do as you wish, do whatever you please.
Then he turned around and went inside. Inati was surprised but decided to stick to her decision. She stomped off in a huff and headed to Bantu's house. There she spent the rest of the day playing happily with her friends. Beat by beat, the sun grew weaker. When the sky was turning dark and the night was fast approaching, Inati, who had already forgotten that she was running away, headed home without a care in the world.
Oh, welcome home, my child.
Her father said with a smile as he greeted her at the door.
Hi, Dad. What's for supper?
Said Inati, smiling broadly, and walked into the kitchen. Inati's father simply smiled and shook his head. Then she closed the door and followed his daughter into the kitchen. He chuckled softly and said,
Inati, I think you forgot to bring home your running away bag.
And so we come to the end of another Nali Bali story time. Today's story was called The Rule, written by Kanya Manyati. Did you know that reading and telling stories to children at home can help them do better at school? If you want free stories to read to your children or for your children to enjoy on their own, visit the Nali Bali website www.nalibali.org or Mobi site www.nalibali.mobi. You will find stories in 11 South African languages, as well as tips for reading and sharing stories with your children to grow their potential. Also look out for the bilingual Nali Bali Reading for Enjoyment supplement with great children's stories and activities, available in newspapers. Nali Bali, it starts with a story.
This program was brought to you by SABC Education, enriching minds, enriching lives.
Iman, can you believe my Gogo reads with me every single night?
My dad plays soccer with me.
But my dad walks me to school every single day.
My mom works all day and I love it when she arrives home and gives me a big squishy hug. Oh man, we're so loved.
What did you do today? Visit
holdmyhand.org.za.
Together, we can change their future. This is an SABC supported initiative.
If you think you cannot afford a lawyer, think again.
Clientele Legal has made professional legal services affordable for you. Whether it's a civil, criminal, or labor-related matter, we have a nationwide panel of attorneys standing by to assist you. SMS SAFM to 32195. That's SAFM to 32195 and we'll call you back. Clientele General is a licensed non-life insurer and an authorized FSP. Standard rates and terms and conditions apply. You are listening to The Full Circle.
Admittedly, I haven't had much time to pick up a book and read anything outside of what to expect when you are expecting and that kind of content this year. So even me, I'm looking forward to seeing what Siwela Langeni, co-founder of Book Circle Capital and author of Friends with Feelings, has in store for us as we get into Book Circle Fridays. How are you doing, Siwela?
Good, thanks, and you. Congratulations, and happy to have you back.
Thank you so much, Mama. It's good to be back indeed. Like I was saying, that I've been pretty much preoccupied with those kinds of themes and Google searches as it's to be expected. So I'm pretty much out of the loop in as far as, what's exciting us all from a publication perspective this year, because there's always something in the air with every year that gets folks excited, whether it's a particular anticipated title or whether it is maybe, a countrywide theme that's being focused on and unpacked by authors. What's happening on the ground in the world of literature?
So a lot has been happening, which we've spoken about while you are away with Betha. But today, specifically, of course, this month, since it's August, we are focusing on women authors. And the first book, we're talking After the Fires by Nozipho Chabalala. You may be familiar with her. She goes by the name The Conversation Strategist.
Yes.
She facilitates, conversations at big conferences, from the UN to the G20, politics and finance, where she champions conversations that ignite and shape the future. So this is a memoir, from a high-performing person who's driven by excellence, and being in control, but having to realize that, in life, that's not always guaranteed. For the most part, you can things can work until they don't. And in this memoir, where she's deeply personal, she explains what happens when things don't always work out, especially for somebody who's so public, where people can often assume, how it is, Bridget, especially with online personas, where we assume that people's lives are so well curated. But she invites us into her life and explains the complexities of being a working mom, managing this, being a woman in such a space, where it's very, very, very male dominated, having to surrender. Not as a way of defeat, but as a way of claiming her freedom. So there's been a lot of memoirs in this year that, where people are letting us in, like people like Mpumi Lidwaba, people like Rory Sang. So we've seen books along these lines where people are letting us into their lives, people that are very public, and then just using books as a way to say, hey, it's not always looking as smooth sailing as it does on the TV or on the social.
And in fact, Siwela, as you talk about just memoirs being very much the books on trend for 2025, I often believe that everybody has a story to tell, right? And if you happen to be fortunate enough where you have the time and the resource to sit and tell your story, it's an opportunity that you should probably take, just as a way of also just reflecting on your journey and just how far of a road you've traveled.
Absolutely. And if it's, I remember this conversation where Ma Eleanor Sisulu said the exactly same thing that you're saying. Even if it's not for publishing to be consumed or to be sold in a bookshop, but for your family, for your children, just to know how far you've come, to glean from your life stories. As we know, life is fleeting. Maybe one day your child will pick it up and just understand what type of a person you were. What are some of the stuff you desired for them? And that could be inspirational for generations to come. So I definitely agree with you.
Nozipho is one hell of an accomplished young woman. As the conversation strategist, as you say, she leads transformative conversation on the biggest stages in the world, facilitating dialogue amongst captains of industry, leaders of nations, and really has accomplished so much in such a short span of time as a young woman. Why should somebody pick up this book? Because some folks, I was talking earlier about how we should probably get into the habit of reading books that don't pertain to the work that you are in. Read books that don't speak to the things that interest you, but rather things that are outside of the realm of your reality for a whole host of reasons. And the question is, someone might go, yeah, but I don't want to be a conversation strategist. I don't want to be a speaker,
I'm not
facilitator.
interested in public speaking.
Yes.
Yeah. But I mean, even if you won't end up on a stage, but the skills and the habit that goes into preparing to do that are required across all areas of life. She talks about self-awareness, having to realize what you as a person are capable of doing and what you are not capable of doing. What are you able to admit that you need help on? And therefore are prepared to go outside of your comfort zone to seek that help. The importance of networks. She talks about networking. That is a skill that you need beyond a career. It's just a day-to-day thing. I mean, as a mom now, you're going to need to network with fellow moms when your child is ready to go to school, because sometimes you won't be in places and you need another mom to step in. Those are some of the stuff that are universal. They're not linked to a career. So I think this book is worth picking up because it's just about lessons for life, which are not locking you to any career.
Absolutely. I want us to pause here, and then we'll come back on the other side and unpack some of the other titles that are on the list for this afternoon.
Spar brings you super savings. Get 2 litre Spar Extra Shelf Life Milk, full cream or low fat for $31.99, plus 100 megs free data on Spar Mobile, or 200 gram Jacob's Cronin coffee jar or 230 gram refill for $144.99, plus 300 megs free data on Spar Mobile. Plus, you could win your share of 6 million rand in instant cash. Prices valid until 24 August 2025, while stocks last. T's and C's apply.
The Wild Beasts and the Almo Rabbits both want to ease off pressure with victory, drama, and tension has kicked in. This is the Total Energies African Nations Championship 2024. Catch Central African Republic versus Mauritania this Saturday, 9 August at 4 p.m. Live at your fingertips on SABC Plus. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
SAFM celebrates its 89th birthday this month by giving listeners an exclusive opportunity to attend the prestigious Joy of Jazz taking place at the Sandton Convention Centre from the 26th to the 28th of September 2025. To stand a chance to win these sought-after tickets, simply SMS SAFM 89 followed by your name to 41391 and stay tuned to SAFM as we could be calling you. SAFM is the official media partner for the Dipala stage at the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz. Entries open from the 7th of August and close on the 31st of August 2025. Winners will be randomly selected and called from the 1st of September 2025. SMSs are charged at R1.50 per SMS. Free SMSs and SMS bundles do not apply. T's and C's apply. Bridget Masinga on SAFM.
I mean, don't say we didn't tell you, right? Because we're celebrating our 89th birthday, as you heard. And we've got those 15 double tickets to give away to 15 lucky listeners so that you can come and join us at this year's Joy of Jazz. It's going to be incredible. The lineup is spectacular this year. I mean, every year they outdo themselves, but this year seems to be their best year thus far. So you definitely don't want to miss it. So be sure to stick to the station and SMS SAFM 89 to 41391. That's 41391. And then we could be calling you anytime in September ahead of the Joy of Jazz, so that you can win yourself those tickets. Right now, though, we are chatting to Siwela Langeni, who's the co-founder of Book Circle Capital, author of Friends with Feelings. And we're running through Women's Month titles that perhaps you should be considering to get on your bookshelf. You don't have to be a woman to get these titles, by the way. It's nice at times to also get into the feminine mind, even as a male reader. Well, my young producer just laughed. Why are you laughing? He just laughed. I'm like, why are you laughing? There's things to be learned, young man, from the feminine mind. The next title, Siwela, what is the second book on the list?
The second book on the list is When We Ruled by Paula Akpan. This is a Black British historian who gained a distinction in a MA in Black British history. So in this book, she's a historian, of course. So she follows the lives of 12 powerful figures, women who were queens before colonialism. So she touches on queens from Nigeria, Rwanda, ancient Egypt, and South Africa. So she shares new light on gender politics in these regions, showing how women were celebrated and revered before the colonizing powers took hold and continued even long after. This is considered like a game-changing book that follows these lives of 12 women, from the names like Njinga Mbande, Nayas, Asante Wa, Maboko Mujaji, whom we are familiar with, and Rana Valona the First. These are queens and warriors that ruled, vast parts of the continent, where they led, they loved, they fought kingdoms and peoples, and their impact is felt today. This is also part of a theme we've seen this year, Bridget, where we're getting a lot of history being retold, spirituality being told, African spirituality being told. And this book, I think, is also very exciting for readers to look out to, especially the history buffs who loves to follow, what was history like before colonization, because now a lot of what we're reading is seen through that lens.
And what I like about this particular title, When We Ruled, as well, is not only is it telling a history, but it's telling a focus history, which is oftentimes forgotten in the pages. It's not very often that the female tale is told through her eyes. Her story is told, and so books like this are very much necessary.
Yes. You would know that even the stories of the liberation struggle for South Africa for a long time were only told through the lens of men. And not that we are disrespecting the fathers of the struggle, but there were also mothers in the struggle that fought, that played key roles, even in the front lines at war, in the background, making sure that people had safe passages. Those kind of stories, we need more of it, and I'm thankful that we've been seeing a lot of it in the past couple of years.
Now, our third title for this afternoon, Fabrics of Love.
Fabrics of Love by Levuma Zibuko, who's given us Bantu Notes about 2-3 years ago. So this is her second novel, and it's coming out in September. I'm very excited for it. So she follows a family, the Ndoi family, who post the forced removals in the 1950s. They moved to Midlands and Soweto. They build their life, creating a respectable home with their children, Buang, Sien, and Sien. But then, unfortunately, Fumani, the mom, passes away. So now Dad Lemuhang has to almost find himself, as a widower. And then this story of this Ndoi family is told through 3 women in this Ndoi family: Pretty Girl, Rosemary, and Miponi. And the story, brings forth the issues of culture, issues of legacy, issues of love and marriage. and secrets, which may threaten to rip this fabric. That, I guess, this is where the title comes from. This fabric of love that's holding this perfect family together.
Mm.
So Lebu is an exciting, fresh young writer, and she writes stuff in the current. So I'm sure readers, when they read it, if she's writing about Middleland, you'll probably imagine yourself right there. I remember Bantu Notes, when I read it in one day. It was one of those Saturdays where I was free, and I woke up and I just couldn't leave my bed because I had to finish the book. So I think, all good things mature with time. I'm sure she's matured even more with this one. So I look forward to this one.
Absolutely. Well, listen, you've given us 3 incredible reads. There's a little something for everybody by way of a self-development memoir, something a little bit more historical and rooted in nonfiction, and of course a little bit of escapism right there with the last one, with Fabrics of Love by Lebu Mazibuko. It's always a pleasure talking to you, Siwela, and I know that with all the books that you sort of present for us on the show during the book circle Fridays, at some point there'll be an itinerary that we talk about as well that involves a meet and greet in a book club situation with 1 or 2 of the authors.
Yes, actually, a book we profiled last week, Love Zola. We are launching it on the 16th of August, the Saturday that's coming after this one, with the authors Zibuze Tole, who'll be in conversation with Lorraine. So it's a nice afternoon for book clubs, for book lovers to come through and let's pick her mind. So this book is the 3rd in her trilogy.
Yes.
So that's an event that I can definitely tell people about. This Tuesday will be at Wits University, where they are celebrating their alumni. The creative writing department always celebrate their alumni, and this week they'll be celebrating Krista Kulian and Professor Makosa Zanatlaba, all along this theme of Women's Month. So those are the events your listeners can look forward to.
Wonderful. Thank you for the time. That was Siwela Langeni. It's the end of the show. That's it. We are done. We are finished for the week, finished for the day. Ashraf is coming through to take over 3 until 6. I hope you have yourself a restful weekend and you come back on Monday. We come back on Monday rejuvenated and ready to tackle the week that lies ahead. It was so good to be back. First week done and dusted. They promised that they wouldn't have me doing some heavy lifting this week, and they stuck to that promise. From next week, I know they're going to be showing me flames. So it's going to be back at full steam ahead on the Full Circle. Until then, inshallah, God willing, have an incredible weekend.
Gender-based violence is destroying lives and tearing communities apart. It happens in homes, in schools, at workplaces, and too often in silence. But it doesn't have to continue. If you see it, speak out. If you are hurting, reach out. Because doing nothing is not an option. Listen to all 19 SABC radio stations from Wednesday, the 23rd of July for hard talk, discussions, advice, dramas, educational shows, and interviews around GBV with experts, survivors, lawmakers, and a whole country affected by gender-based violence. All on your favorite SABC radio station. Call 0800 428 428 to report abuse or get help. GBV, it ends with you. This message is brought to you by the SABC.